Welcome back to Relentless Games. As you can see, this is a slightly different video. I haven't done one of these in a while, but this game was so good that I figured it might even make sense to cast it because there's a lot that can be learned from it. As you'll see in this game, I was playing in a 5-stack. I was playing Underlord as usual. We had Dem Memes playing Juggernaut, H playing Bounty Hunter, and Doppelrack decided to go Outward Devourer, and then we had Silent Rick on Dazzle. What was particularly interesting at the start of this game is if you look at how the draft went, we specifically chose heroes to match up with who they chose, but their laning was different than usual and really caused us a lot of problems early. We expected Bristleback to be in the off lane as he usually would be, and we figured we would have Dazzle in the safe lane helping Juggernaut, and that would offset the two of them. We had no idea who their safe laner would be given this lineup because we figured Sniper would go mid. Outward Devourer is usually not a great pick against Sniper, but we figured it would be good later in the game. Instead, what happens, as you'll see, is Bristleback decides to go safe lane, and suddenly we're stuck with a Bounty Hunter and an Underlord trying to deal with Bristleback, which does not work well. And then in the our safe lane, we had Dazzle and Juggernaut, but they were stuck dealing with Ricky and Tusk and Rubik in a tri-lane, which also did not go well for us at all. A key element of winning this game turned into lane swapping and making sure that we took care of that. So let's get right into the game. We've got everyone coming out onto the field. The items are pretty standard, I'm pretty sure at this point. Can I even see items on here? It's kills and whatnot. Here I go. I can get it here.
30 seconds to battle.
Outward didn't spend all of his money to start the game. Going with lesser items and trying to immediately get himself larger items. Nothing particularly strange happens at the bounty runes. Everyone just takes their runes and goes back. Rubik immediately gets a couple of good wards down to deal with Bounty Hunter, which did not get spotted out. And Rubik did start off in the safe lane, which made us think it was going to be normal laning with Bristleback in the off lane. Now, the moment Bristleback shows up in this lane, we should have immediately changed our laning and had Dazzle come bottom. We didn't. Rubik recognizes that, and Rubik immediately heads top, and now they've got themselves a tri-lane where they can pressure last hits. And in truth, they don't even really need to win the lane, they just need to gain levels and hold back the jug, or so they thought. Bristleback is bottom. Bounty Hunter plays well, but he offers nothing against Bristleback. He can't even run forward to gold steal against him without getting hurt. And Underlord at this level is particularly weak as well. The Soul Ring build that I chose to go is probably the wrong build against a Bristleback. I almost never lane against a Bristleback, but I can't afford to give up the health in order to get the mana, and I'll get punished by the Bristleback under tower. We do manage to pull the creep wave all the way back so we can last hit under tower. But Bristleback is already a full level up at this point. He's got himself a Quelling Blade. He's already saving for his items. Getting himself a Soul Ring so that he can spam more. At this point, we make the partial decision to tell Bounty Hunter, hey, you're not really going to be helpful in this lane. Why don't you roam more? And so Bounty Hunter does start to roam, which should equal out the leveling experience. But we still did not get Dazzle to come bottom, which was really the solution we should have gone for immediately. And that's a team failing. No one on the team recognized it. No one on the team said, hey, this isn't working, we should swap. Like a bunch of noobs, we basically just stayed in our lanes and figured, hey, we'll figure it out. Bristle now with a level advantage. 2 points in Quill Spray. And Underlord is forced to last 10 under tower. If we go and take a look at net worth, We're going to see Jug is on top and is farming well.
Dire's structure.
And that's a credit to having Dazzle and him both top, and Ricky being such a terrible laner. OD, on the other hand, is almost holding even. But if we go for last hits and denies, we're going to see that Sniper's already racked up 13 denies in mid lane, which is really going to become an increasingly big problem because Sniper smartly goes for an early build with 2 Wraith Bands, and that makes his last hitting even easier. And because he has a 0 cast point animation, he can just deny creep after creep after creep while OD is stuck under tower. So let's take a look at how mid's going, and you can see all the denies that Sniper is pulling. There's just no way for the slower attacking OD to be able to last hit unless he gets a big damage advantage, and right now Sniper's got 66 damage and OD has 76. So with an additional 10 damage as his only window, with Sniper having longer range able to harass and now a full level lead, Sniper now has his ult and can actually assassinate OD. And this lane is already essentially lost. We've got Tusk rolling into gank. Bounty Hunter happens to be here, which is good. And they do manage to counter the gank, which is great. Meanwhile, Sniper just keeps farming away. They do manage to get some pressure onto the Bounty Hunter. But OD gets himself trapped, assassinated, and killed, playing too far forward. You're going to start to see wards coming out everywhere very soon. Rubik spent close to 10,000 gold on wards in this game, trying to counter the Bounty Hunter. Bristle is now 2 full levels ahead of the Underlord. Tusk recognizes the opportunity to come bottom. Sniper continues to build Wraith Bands and get more damage mid. Bristle's already got this tower halfway down. Finally, after 5 or 6 requests, Dazzle does come to the bottom, and you'll see this lane immediately changes just by virtue of having Poison Touch. 1 cast, and Bristle's already pushed out of the lane. Bristle immediately goes to use his fountain. He's already got 4 Quill Spray. He's now got himself a wand and a Soul Ring, and he's coming back bottom. Underlord's picked up a full level. He gets a clarity from Dazzle, which is helpful. Bristle's back into the lane now. But Dazzle decides to leave the lane, which is a huge mistake, because he's going to try to go help out mid. Dazzle offers almost nothing mid. He's not going to do anything to a sniper. So now he's running around in the jungle. He gets an item. And let's see where Dazzle goes with his time. He could have been pressuring bottom. Instead, we've got Bounty Hunter bottom. He can steal 20 gold, but so what? And then Bristle will just come back into the lane, and we're right back to the same mistaken lanes we had before. Playing Underlord, I call Dazzle back bottom. Dazzle finally does come back bottom again. We've got Poison Touch on Bristle, and watch how fast Bristle runs away, because we finally have the right lane laning matchups. When we go take a look up top, we've got Tusk, we've got Ricky, we've got Rubik, but Jug is free farming under his own tower. Ricky really doesn't offer any kill potential. They're not going to kill Jug here. Jug's already 6. He's got Omni Slash at this point. It obviously would have been a good thing if they would have had a lane ward as a sentry. They've got an Observer, but that's not what they need against a Ricky. 1 lane ward, and Jug can just Omni him to death. Bounty shows up. They now do have that ward. The game gets paused briefly. That's for a disconnect on the Ricky. Dazzle gets killed. And Bristle got himself a haste rune. He now chases down Underlord. He can dive under tower. He's a Bristleback. Who cares? Dazzle comes back down, but Bristle's already picked up another couple of kills. Bristle's having a field day in this game. He's 4-1 at this point. Bounty Hunter's doing real well at 3-0, pressuring the map. Jug is doing fine under tower. OD's not dying, but when we take a look at last hits, we're going to see snipers at 62 and 37. That's an unbelievable amount of denies. So finally, the right lanes are made. Underlord goes mid to deal with Sniper, which should have happened about 8 minutes ago. And then we've got OD and Dazzle, two ranged heroes with Poison Touch at bottom against Bristleback. Bristle now can't step forward. If he does, he gets Poison Touched. OD can actually banish him, and between the two of them at range, they can just punish the Bristleback and force him out of the lane. He can just be banished and Poison Touched over and over and over again. Now, the problem is, he's got a 2-level advantage on OD and a 5-level advantage on the Dazzle because our lanes were wrong all along. So instead of having them at equal level or near equal level where they could punish, they're actually being bullied out of the lane anyway. Underlord at level 7 isn't really killable by Sniper, but also can't pressure the lane by Sniper. The enemy team recognizes the lanes have swapped, they send 2 supports mid, and now they're going to start to try to push the tower. Underlord's able to wave clear and get important experience, which will let him level back up. And because I've got myself Tranquil Boots and I can run out of Sniper's range, I can get my full health back before I come back in. So Sniper has almost no kill potential on Underlord. So this is the lanes the way they should have been at the start of the match. With Bounty Hunter top to deal with Ricky, Jug free farming in the jungle and in lane, OD and Dazzle bottom to deal with the Bristleback, and Underlord mid where Sniper has no kill potential and Underlord has such a damage advantage he can actually last hit. As Underlord I've got 120 damage roughly. So Sniper runs bottom to go gank. He's got his Mask of Madness. Misses the assassinate, but Bristle will chase it down. Again, Dazzle shows up and Bristle has nothing for Dazzle. If Dazzle just keeps his distance and Poison Touch, Dazzle shouldn't be killable. Bristle's almost dead. Kills happen all over on top. Let's go top. I'm going to back up a little bit and we'll see what happens here. This is a rewind to those kills. We've got Bounty in lane. They're fighting over sentries like crazy. Jug shows up. Gets the spin on Rubik. Failed snowball. Tusk was not very good all game. Bounty gets tracked down. Another spin. That's a couple of kills. And Jug gets away with it. That's a phenomenal exchange for us, but Sniper shows up and assassinates Jug, which shows us that we do have a ward and it immediately gets pinged out. There's a ward in the jungle there giving vision. Meanwhile, Sniper having to start rotating and not being able to just sit in the lane because Underlord went mid is allowing Underlord to catch up. So I'm now level 8, almost level 9. I've got myself a Morbid Mask finally, which makes it even harder for Sniper to kill me. But Sniper has his Mask of Madness, Wraith Bands, everything else you could want, and a 5-level advantage. So all I can really do is defend the tower and soak EXP to get back into the game. Let's take a look at levels. You'll see Sniper's 14, Bristleback is 13, and our highest is Jug at 11 with OD at 10. One of the good things is we didn't panic. We did know we could get back into this game. This was a horrifically bad attempt at a gank where they ran at a Bristleback who's providing vision to the Sniper, who's just free farming our heroes in the jungle. That was just misguided. But once we got our lanes figured out, which took us, frankly, 8 minutes too long, we knew that it was a laning problem, not a hero matchup or a skill problem. We figured we could win this game. They do get a ward down mid. That's the one good thing about that failed gank. We lose the tower, which may in some cases actually be a good thing, because now we've got a T2 that makes it much harder for them to pressure. If Dazzle doesn't get himself killed here, though he does. And the best we can do is Underlord's bottom, taking bottom tower. So we're now trading a tier 2 for a tier 1. But at least we finally get a tower off the board there. We've got the tower off the board top. And so the side lanes are actually working in our favor. We're getting some lane pressure because we have the T1s top and bottom. And they're going straight down mid with their sniper at the moment. They start using a pretty smart strategy of having Bristleback be essentially their spotter, where he would just show up and provide vision so that Sniper could see targets, and then Sniper would kill them from range. Which took a little convincing to get the team to understand to not go on Bristleback, because all they're doing is letting Sniper free farm them. Even when you get the kill on Bristleback, that's a nice play by OD to save the Jug. There's just no chance that this level 11 OD is going to do anything to this level 16 Sniper. They're now starting to hem us into this particular area. Where we can't get anywhere out there. Now, I think they might have been strong enough to actually go Roche. And they have so much map control mid. If we go ahead and pause this, they've already taken our T1 tower. They still have their T1 tower. They've got full vision of what's going on here. They've got a Bristleback that can basically scare any of us off, and a Sniper that can kill any of us. If they went into the Roche pit right now, I don't think there's anything we could do to defend. As long as Omni Slash was on cooldown. Every fight, they're just punishing us at this point. We can see they've got a 2k gold advantage, but the reason for that is because their supports are so poor. Rubik is spending basically all of his money not buying items and just buying wards. He probably would have been better off doing at least a little bit of farming, because they've got a 10,000 gold advantage on their Sniper, but now our Jug is starting to catch up at 9,000 and change. If we take a look at Sniper's build, let's see where he's at. Sniper's gone all early game items. He's got a Mask of Madness, which is an okay farming tool, but it's not anywhere nearly as good as a Midas would be. And a Midas would give him attack speed as well. That's probably the build he should have gone. If we take a look at Jug by comparison, Jug's already got his Midas going. He's now got a Shadow Blade, which means they have to start dealing with detection issues. So Rubik's going to spend even more money on wards. And Jug is now farming up a Mjolnir to farm even faster. So what we're starting to see is a farming advantage being built on our side, even though we have almost no kill potential.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Bristleback is going all defensive items at this point, which makes some sense, but again, not particularly great for farming or EXP or anything else. And so he's actually starting to be caught up by the Jug at this point. He gets too close to the base. We still have no kill potential. We're waiting for Jug to finish off the Silver Edge. Now again, he could have gone Silver Edge faster, but instead he went farming items, Mjolnir and Midas, which is better because in a longer game it's going to be able to go further. They decide to try to high ground here, which I think is insane. They have no possibility of pushing high ground against all of us being alive. Had they backed off and went Roche instead, I think they could have taken Roche quite easily, especially if someone on their team built a Medallion or a Solar Crest to hit Roche with minus armor. Jug gets a very big kill on the Sniper in that fight. And now there's follow-up with 5 heroes chasing down the Bristleback, and we've taken their 2 biggest cores off the board, killing both and giving Jug, for the first time, top net worth. OD's got himself a Force Staff as sort of a defensive item. He's got some very minor items. He's not going to do any damage at all at this point in the game. But Jug is now almost fully online. He's finishing up the Silver Edge, which is the next item he needs. And he's got his full Mjolnir after the Maelstrom queued up. He's also now carrying Dust, which is smart. And Jug is actually becoming the main core in the game. Ricky's got to get himself a Diffusal, but I don't think Ricky's done anything important all game so far. Mostly because Bounty Hunter is just chasing him down. Bounty Hunter straight up kills the Ricky. Bristleback is way out of position up in our jungle. The Shrine is down, but Sniper's not coming forward because Bristle's too far forward. Sniper manages to pull off an amazing assassinate from far away using the vision given from Bristleback. And they do get a kill, but it's on the bounty hunter. Bounty runes are up. Tusk is bottom doing next to nothing. He's trying to farm the lane, I guess, and push out a lane, which is really not what he ought to be doing. And we're getting so much lane pressure top and bottom because we still have our T1s and they don't. So we only have to defend one lane, they have to defend two. And that's because they're chasing after kills and trying to push high ground solo as a sniper at this point. Sniper, Ricky, solo are not going to push high ground. They thought they were going to get an easy win at this point and just push us out of the game. Instead, we're chasing them down. They get a couple of kills. It's a mistake. We shouldn't have chased. We should have just stayed and defended high ground. Their problem is that we have too much wave clear for them to be able to come forward. And that's because we have these side towers. There's no side pressure at all. We only have to clear one lane. There's no chance of creeps getting to our base, top or bottom. They can only come in this lane. And so as long as I'm firestorming the lane and killing the creep wave, we have backdoor protection on the tower, and they can't do any damage to the tower until they get creeps into our base. They finally do get some creeps in. They start pressuring the mid tower. Do they actually get the tower? Yes, they finally do. And again, they think they're going to win the game by just coming down mid and taking throne. Jug's back. Big Omni Slash. Kill on Bristle. Tusk falls as well. We're chasing forward again, which we shouldn't be. Now finally we isolate the sniper. But even with 3, it's going to be tough to get to him. Sniper built Blink as his only defensive item. He manages to get away. And again, they're accomplishing what they tried to do, but it would have been so much easier to just take these T1 towers on the side, the T2 towers to Roche. Coming straight down and going high ground at 25 minutes when you don't have to is crazy. They're wasting all this time, and meanwhile, because of the items he built, Jug is still maintaining a lead in net worth. And he's getting way far ahead of everyone except the sniper. He's almost 4,000 up now on the Bristleback. And Bounty Hunter with a very good farming kit is also now starting to catch up and is now 4th in net worth, OD 5th in net worth, I'm 6th in net worth. And then their other 3 heroes are in the bottom 4. So they're becoming completely reliant on really 1.5 cores, because Bristleback is going to stall out as well. They come back for the racks mid. They are taking barracks, but they're also feeding Jug some more kills. Jug is continuing to get fatter. And again, all they had to do was go take either of these towers instead. They would have been indefensible. If they just pushed both lanes, top and bottom, and went to attack those towers, they could have taken either or both of those towers very quickly and easily. We're also being pressured back and being hemmed in again, as I said before. We really don't want to go across these lines. So if they just go to Roche, just put a couple of wards down here and go straight to Roche, they could have Roche, put that on Bristleback, and he would have at that point been unkillable. So yeah, they're getting the objectives they want, and it sounds like a good thing that they're taking mid, but it really isn't, because they have no other map control. That's a nice save by Dazzle. He eventually does fall, but it's just a kill on a support who's second lowest in net worth. It's not really something of major value, unless they can turn it into an objective. Again, they think they're just going to keep pressuring and eventually take throne. Finally, Ricky decides to go bottom. Ricky, of course, being one of the worst lane pushers in the game. Bounty gets killed, and they finally start pushing 2 lanes instead of 1. Now they're able to push bottom lane, but we've already taken the bottom 2 and the bottom 2 on their side, so the pressure on those lanes is actually still equalized. That's a triple kill out of our Jug. And as you can see, Bristle's getting almost no farm. He's been at 11,000 for the last 3-4 minutes. Jug now flash farming with a Mjolnir, a Silver Edge for Bristleback, a Midas. Bounty Hunter is now running around with a Desolator and a Basher to deal with Sniper, or Ricky. Underlord now is a full Solar Crest, able to give 70 attack speed and 12 armor to any hero. Going to be Jug most of the time. And I've also got myself a Vladimir's, which gives us life steal, and gives us a stronger and stronger team fight to go along with my Atrophy Aura. Tusk has now become their lane pusher. They're using Ricky and Tusk as lane pushers instead of using them as gank setups and supports. That could easily have been Bristleback with a Radiance just running down the lane, shoving lanes. Sniper's finally starting to get into lane pushing and farming as a result. But once again, he's gone MKB at this point. Now, why is he going MKB if Jug didn't build a single evasion item? Maybe to deal with Bounty Hunter getting a level 25 evasion talent, because Bounty Hunter does get a substantial evasion talent. At level 25, it gets 50% evasion. But that's still pretty far away. And there's a lot better items Sniper could have picked up. Sniper's getting evasion himself at this point. Personally, I'd like to have seen Sniper go dataless, which would have amped his damage incredibly with the attack speed he gets from Mom and everything else. He would have hit 1,000 times harder. He could have gone Desolator, which would have been a great item, so when he is pot-shotting the tower, instead of this tower still having another 430 health, it would actually be dead. Now this is another issue. We killed somebody with a Gem of True Sight 3-4 times and never picked up the gem. The glow that you get when you bought the gem compared to a team that didn't buy the gem is a huge advantage in picking it back up. They actually made a very smart play by moving their courier to go pick up the gem. We should have gotten it. At this point, Jug was screaming, "Who has the gem? Who has the gem?" And none of us had picked it up. Underlord pushing out top lane, team pushing out bottom lane. And mid lane, sure, it can push in, but that's just free farm for us at this point. Jug is now a full 2,000 gold ahead of the Sniper. That's important. When you start saying that you're 2,000 gold ahead, what that really means in game terms is when we look at Jug, we can say Jug has a free hand of Midas, essentially, more than Sniper would have because of that 2,000 gold. They finally decide to Rosh at 37 minutes. Now, at this point in the game, roshing and putting it on Bristleback is not nearly as good as it would have been earlier in the game. Because earlier in the game, we didn't have an easy way to kill Bristleback, so killing him twice would have been nearly impossible. Now we have a Silver Edge on the Juggernaut. That means Juggernaut can break Bristleback, turn off his passive, and we get that first kill on Bristleback fairly easily. So yeah, just Bristleback will respawn, but we really just need the one actual hard kill on Bristleback because the first one's going to be cake. What they should have done is put that Aegis on Sniper at this point. It would have been a hell of a lot better than a Talisman of Evasion. Sniper would now be unkillable, and if Sniper dies, he blinks away by shift queuing Blink, and we don't get that second kill on Sniper. They're finally pushing top. Underlord had gone down bottom to push bottom way out, so we don't have to worry about bottom lane pushing in. Mid lane's already all pushed out, so again, they have no split push. They're forced to fight 5-on-5 at our tower. Let's slow down the engagement. Jug spins. Underlord hits Pit on 3. Bounty Hunter comes forward. Rubik gets a steal on track, which is actually a good thing usually, but not a good thing in a team fight particularly. Jug gets way far forward, he gets hit, but his Omni goes off, and when it goes off, it's kill time. Now they all wanted to chase. The Aegis pops. Underlord calls for everyone to get back. Chasing down the lane is the worst thing you can do. Sniper would just chew us up. Rubik gets spotted out up top here, so we know he's there. They're all being held out by Pit, and again, because we have lane push in bottom lane and we have lane push in mid lane, we have backdoor protection on this tower unless they can get creeps to the tower in top lane. Rubik does manage to get a ward down in the base, which gives Sniper high ground vision. That's a great move by the Rubik. Ricky's got himself an Ag, so he's able to infest his ult into Bristle. Bristle chases forward. Sniper's hitting the tower, but again, we have backdoor protection. He's doing almost no damage to the tower and no damage to the heroes, so it's now Bristle and Ricky versus 5. As you can see, Bristle and Ricky versus 5 does not go well. And by the time they finally do get some creeps near the tower, we've got a Fortify available, our creeps respawn, and they get almost no tower damage. Team starts to chase out at them. There is no real other danger because our creep waves are all pushed out. Finally, the creeps start to come in. We call to head back. They're able to get away, but so what? And as you can see, Jug is now 3 grand ahead. OD has climbed into the top 3. He's now ahead of the Bristleback in net worth. And then their other heroes are way down toward the bottom. Jug's now got a full Abyssal Blade, so he can stun anybody, even through BKB. OD managed to pick up the gem in the last fight, and he's got a Radiance. Now, Radiance probably isn't the best item in most games to put onto the OD, because it's not giving him any intelligence or anything else. I'd rather see something like a Shiva's normally. But in this particular case, where they've pushed into our base so hard, Radiance is a hell of a wave clear item. And so when you add the wave clear that we have from Dazzles, Heal Bombs, from a Radiance on OD, from Firestorm on the Underlord, just with standard skills, we can shove out all 3 lanes incredibly hard, and they have tremendously less wave clear than we do. So them pressuring lanes against us becomes a very difficult thing for them to do. Sniper builds himself some evasion with a butterfly. Our team recognizes it, and the call goes out for Juggernaut to get himself an MKB as fast as he can. As fast as he can is actually really fast because he's running around with Mjolnir and with a Midas. And between those 2 items, he can clear camps incredibly quickly and get full Midas. Midas off cooldown, well done. They start chasing at him. That's a big spin to get away from the snowball, or he probably would have died. All back into the base once again. Bounty Hunter gets out of position. Sniper's going to chase him down. They have wards almost everywhere on the map. Ricky is carrying dust, and that's going to be dead. Bounty Hunter? Now that isn't a smart play by Bounty Hunter, but it's also not a huge cost to us either. Right? The kill on the Bounty Hunter isn't really going to stop us from defending high ground whatsoever. They start to push in bottom. Again, top lane's pushed out, mid lane's not close enough, so they're relying on 1 lane of creep waves. If they pushed the other lanes first, they wouldn't have to worry about this creep wave. As long as you only have 1 wave coming forward, you can't get backdoor protection turned off. Now they finally get the second wave in and they fortify it, which forces us to actually come out to fight. Underlord goes and clears the mid wave. They do get the kill mid. That's a lot of damage coming off Ricky, Bristleback, and Sniper. They're almost all physical damage. Underlord's got a Crimson Guard, which does work on buildings and slows their push to some extent. They never managed to get the kill on the Jug. If they killed the Jug at this point, the game would essentially end. They chase way too close to the fountain. Bristleback gets, I don't know, insane and gets himself killed. Bristleback is now dead with no buyback. 82 seconds. That essentially ends their push. If Bristle didn't chase all the way to the fountain, if he just roamed around, he wouldn't have died. Because no other lane push is happening, we don't have to worry that much about defending our base. We're now chasing down the sniper. As a very strange build, Underlord actually builds Rod of Atos just to be able to chase down Sniper, and because Sniper didn't go Shadow Blade or anything to that effect, all he can do is blink away. As long as he takes any damage, his blink is turned off. That means we can actually chase him down, and Underlord does get a big kill on the Sniper. Ricky shows up, gets Atos as well. We didn't manage to get track off because he has Diffusal and took away enough mana from the Bounty Hunter that Bounty Hunter couldn't track him. They've now got 4 dead on their side. Jug and Bounty are out. Ricky picks himself up a DD rune. DD Ricky going on the Bounty, stops the track. Jug now goes invis. Now Jug is 1 versus 2, and he's smart enough to get out. In the meantime, Underlord's pushed out bottom lane. The team has pushed out mid lane. We've cleared out the base. We've got wards up. They do have 1 ward here that we didn't see. That's got to be really close. Yeah, it's real close to the tower, but it's not close enough. So they do have a sentry, but it's about to expire. So we now have vision over our own base area. And we're starting to build that vision in the middle of the map. So what's happening now is this imaginary line of we don't want to go past it is now becoming less and less important, and we are able to actually get out on their side of the map for a change. Jug has built himself a 5,000 net worth advantage. Ricky is now in third, a little bit ahead of the OD. Bristle is getting almost no farm, and Underlord is now catching him. Team comes bottom. We didn't like the feel of this. We're in the wrong spot. We just got some aggressive wards down, pushed the lane, and got back because the top lane was starting to push in. We took no deaths. We got more farm. We got more map control. We got more vision. So that was basically just a very aggressive mining, warding mission. Roche gets pinged out as a potential target. And again, we've got vision. Jug is now at 30,000 net worth. He's got the full MKB online. So Jug now counters Bristleback incredibly hard just by Silver Edge, attack speed, and an MKB. Jug also extremely hardly counters the Sniper because Sniper decided to build evasion and a blink. He's got no ability to go invis, and the evasion is countered almost entirely by the MKB. So when Jug ults and goes Omni Slash, almost every hit is going to actually connect. And Sniper has, as you can see, only 1600 HP, so he's really not a hard kill to get. The only way Sniper stays alive is positioning and staying out of the fight. I mean, yeah, he can Hurricane Pike, but it's still not a great thing. And again, they go and give the Aegis to Bristleback, which is moronic. They should have given it to Sniper. Sniper, now because he's 6-slotted in order to carry cheese, has had to drop his boots. And again, because he's relying on positioning to stay alive, not having phase boots makes him tremendously easier to kill. He gets a very lucky invis rune so he can come forward, but the rest of his team has already started attacking without him. Dyer has wards down. Rubik starts to try to counter them. And the ward fight begins. Dyer has Bounty Hunter for track even without the wards. You'd love to see track on Ricky. That would be the best move Bounty Hunter can make right here. Again, bottom lane is pushed out. Underlord is pushing out mid lane, so the only way they can turn up backdoor protection is by getting these creeps up into the tower range. They're there now, but we've got to fortify. Crimson Guard doing a tremendous amount of damage block here. Jug gets his Omni off. Jug's Omni carries him down the lane, which is unfortunate, because now he's out of position by a lot. And at this point, he didn't know why nobody went with him, but we had no idea his Omni took him down the lane. He does get the kill on the Tusk, but he's just way too far forward. He has buyback, of course. Bristle comes forward, does a mistake. He's got no sniper, he's got basically no damage, he's got no Ricky, he's just running up to die and he's feeding at this point. Now, hold on 1 second. That's the Aegis on Bristleback. How much did that do for them, having that Aegis on Bristleback? If they had the Aegis on the sniper who died out here, he would have come back to life, and Jug would not have been able to re-kill him. They would have been able to hold him off, they would have come forward and still had both heroes. Instead, they get a meaningless respawn on a Bristleback who gets up and literally is waiting to die. That's 4 dead on Radiant in exchange for a buyback on the Jug and a dead bounty hunter. Dire immediately goes back to wave clear. The team is going to go start to push. Underlord has the ability to TP to the team. And as you can see, Underlord is now going Shiva's Guard. Shiva's Guard cuts the attack speed of the enemy, does a substantial amount of damage, offers a crap ton of wave clear as well, and gives Underlord even more armor, which will protect him from sniper. Because we're only really having to deal with physical damage. There really isn't a whole lot of magic damage on their team. There is no Leshrac. There is nobody with a Dagon 5 running around. And Sniper's build, he has no Mjolnir, he's not offering any magic procs or anything like that. It's all physical damage coming at him. So by having only one damage type, their damage becomes easier for us to counter. They're continuing to try to hem us in. And you'll see we're not taking any stupid deaths, which is also super important. When we go and check kills, Jug is way up on top, 25, 3, and 5 at this point. Bristle got 14 kills, but most of those were early on in the bad laning phase when we had mismatches. Sniper got some kills early on, but he's dropped down to only 11, 3, and 11. Bounty Hunter's starting to get some kills as well. Underlord's got 20 assists at this point, and Dazzle has 21 assists at this point. So the team fights are happening. We're showing up as 5 every fight. We're not dying out as 2 out in the lane somewhere. They finally decided to start farming. And we can see they only have a 2k gold advantage. Even with all the map control they've had for the entire game, they've only managed to get themselves a 2k gold advantage because they just continually keep pushing high ground. Most of this game is them pushing high ground. Of course, they could have just backed, farmed, Roche, taken 4 bounty runes. Again, they come high ground. Crimson Guard blocks a tremendous amount of the damage. They're forced back pretty easily, as a matter of fact. Rubik is already dead. The Tusk dies by coming too far forward. The chase is on. Sniper's the target everybody wants. And the sniper will fall. No snowball save by the Tusk, who could have gone and done something like that. Instead, he goes for a kill on the bounty hunter, which frankly doesn't mean much. Underlord immediately TPs back to start clearing the wave. Jug stays out, continues to kill people with Dazzle. And again, it's 4 dead on Radiant for only 2 deaths on Dire, and not a death on the Juggernaut. Juggernaut's now running around with 2,500 gold available. His buyback is on cooldown, which is very dangerous, but he's only up against a Tusk and a Rubik. As soon as Sniper respawns, Jug should get out of here. Tusk misses his shards. Jug goes for spin TP and he's out. So instead of trying to force it and go for that tower kill, which we really didn't need to force, Jug gets out safely, And we have now bought plenty of time because all 3 lanes are pushing, which means Jug's buyback will come off cooldown in another minute and 55 seconds. As you can see, Underlord is now purchasing a brand new Moon Shard, and that Moon Shard is not for the Underlord. You can give a Moon Shard to another player, so Underlord is now spending 4,000 of his own net worth to increase the net worth of the Juggernaut by giving him a free Moon Shard. Juggernaut now has a Moon Shard, an MKB, and this was an interesting choice that got a lot of discussion. He bought Boosted Travel 2, which is great, so he can move around the map freely, but then the decision was what should his 6th item be, and we decided to go with Ags. Now, Ags on Juggernaut's an interesting item, because what does it really provide? The Ags gives him another second of duration on his Omni Slash. And you would think, boy, just 1 more second on Omni Slash, that's not really a whole lot. The thing with it is, it's dependent on his attack speed. So when we look at Juggernaut's attack speed, it's down to 0.33 seconds. So that's 3 attacks per second. So what that means is that 1 additional second is 3 more Omni Slash attacks every time he Omni Slashes. And those Omni Slash attacks are each doing 280 damage. So you're talking 3 times 280, you're now into the 800-900 range. Okay, when you add in all the other bonuses from other stuff. About 800 damage per shot, with a chance of proccing an additional 170 magic damage up to 3 times more. So you could conceivably do an extra 1,000 damage every time you Omni Slash, but only if your attack speed has already been maxed out to the extent that this Juggernaut's attack speed has been maxed out. If you go Ags early on a Juggernaut, it's pointless because it's only going to get you like 1 extra attack, and that's not going to do enough damage. When you can start getting an extra 3 attacks and procs and everything else, it becomes a terrific item. The other interesting thing is it brings the cooldown down to 70. So with a 70-second cooldown in these fights, looks like Juggernaut's going to be able to Omni pretty much every single fight we have for the rest of the game. That's an unbelievable amount of damage. Five and a half seconds at 3 attacks a second, 15 to 16 attacks. Each one doing 300 to 400 damage depending on procs. It's a 3,000 to 4,000 damage skill, and he's got the cooldown low enough to get it off every single fight. They go Roche, and they finally get it right and put the Aegis on Sniper. Sniper's now got an Aegis, not cheese or something stupid. And you can see how the net worths have equalized. There's now a 6k net worth advantage. 6k net worth advantage on the Dire, and more importantly, almost that entire net worth advantage is on the Juggernaut. That's 4 grand handed to him with a Moon Shard from the Underlord, plus his natural progression. And so we've juiced up the Juggernaut as our solo core. Here they come forward. Let's take a look. What's the lane positions? This is almost close enough for it to turn off backdoor protection. This lane is almost close enough as well. So they've got all 3 lanes pushing in. So backdoor is going to be off for the fight. Bristle comes way too far forward. That allows us to go on the Sniper in the back lines. The Aegis gets popped almost immediately, and the chase is on. Now the decision was made previously during discussion that in the future, whenever we are in a position where we should be chasing after them, Underlord would go back to the base, as would Dazzle. Bounty Hunter and Jug would do any chasing if chasing became an option. The reason for that is we can clear this base no problem at all and get 2 other lanes pushed very easily and very far while the chase is happening. So we're getting map control and lane position during the chase, even if the chase doesn't get us a kill. That's the important part. If we get a kill, that's awesome. But if we don't get the kill, we're still pushing out 2 lanes and clearing our base, right? With a Bounty Hunter and with the Juggernaut, Bounty Hunter can track the enemies, they can't go invis. Jug can kill almost all of them. And Jug has spin TP as an option to get home almost instantaneously. Jug has buyback available, but he doesn't have the money for it, so this gets kind of dangerous. They save the sniper. Jug does get back. Underlord with the Rod of Atos once again. The chase is back on. Rubik stole spin. The base has already been pushed out. That's the kill on the Rubik. The chase continues 2-on-1 after the sniper as the rest of the team retreats, as we just talked about. Jug's got a healing ward. Sniper goes for the TP out successfully, but they get nothing on the buildings in the base. There is no creep wave doing damage to our Ancient or anything else like that. The Ancient's still at full health, and we're already pushing out the lanes with just Sniper alive. The two in the chase team can continue to push that lane, which has already been pushed, so now the pressure's starting to be applied to their base. Underlord continues to push out mid lane, and then Underlord is able to TP 2 people forward. Now, there was some more discussion here. Dazzle was left behind in our base. Why? Dazzle's back here for wave clear. Dazzle's back here if somebody TPs forward and tries to rat the base. There is no backdoor protection at this point because there's no tower guarding the barracks. So we could not afford to have Ricky or anybody else Sniper pop forward and start taking the base. If we take a look at Sniper's items, he never got boots of travel. So he couldn't have come forward anyway. There's no boots of travel, I don't think, on any of their team. And that's a huge problem for them. They lost all of their rat potential. Jug was able to TP OD forward with him as mid lane and bottom lane are being pushed. So Dazzle's fine in the back lines. We've now got ourselves a 4-on-3, and we're forcing buybacks. Way too far forward, he gets killed. That's an immediate buyback. The Bounty Hunter bought back, and it's arguable. He bought back to get back into the fight and try to win out the game, but we were already pulling back. I'd rather see Bounty not buy back here. We didn't need the buyback, because they've now got 4 up. We're not really going to try to push into them just yet. We've decided we're probably going to go to Roche and pick up 4 bounty runes. Rubik spots out Juggernaut but has no potential to kill him. Roche is down. Ricky tries to go on Underlord. Underlord at this point is just way too tanky. Gets a pit onto 2. The turn is made. Bounty Hunter comes in from behind, and he's going to get wasted. That's a very big kill. They killed the Juggernaut finally. Juggernaut does have buyback. Dazzle does have buyback. Now, they're pushing forward pretty far. Bristle's not with them. Rubik's not with them, and they don't have buyback. So let's take a look. Buyback cooldown of 1:40. Should Sniper be pushing forward as 3 into 3 with 2 potential buybacks when Sniper has no buyback and 2 other people are dead? That's a catastrophic failure. Sniper is now pushing forward. Sniper gets force staffed in deeper. The buybacks come out from the Dire. Sniper is killed, and Sniper has no buyback. It's now a 5-on-0. Bristle spawns back to life, but Sniper is down for over 100 seconds. The entire team is able to push forward this time. Why? Because top lane is already pushed out. Mid lane is the lane that we're going to attack in. Underlord is able to push out the bottom lane, and Underlord is able to TP forward so we can get a full 5 people forward this time. They use their Fortify in the T2, which really doesn't do anything for them. Here comes all the buybacks, but we immediately noticed who didn't buy back. They have no sniper. So what's their base defense really? They've got Tusk, who can nothing, right? We've got Rubik with a 4,600 net worth at 62 minutes. So Rubik has absolutely no potential to do pretty much anything. He's just a walking aura, Arcane Supremacy at this point. He's not going to do any damage. He's got a lift, but so what, right? Bristleback, when we check his items, he's got Blade Mail, and he's got a bunch of auras to stop heroes from getting killed, but the only thing he has to defend towers is going to be a Crimson Guard, which stops physical damage. That's not going to stop us for very long. We push forward. They come out to defend. Crimson Guard goes out, blocking almost all of their damage. The huge Omni Slash comes off. Look how much damage that Omni did. It just straight up killed 2 people. Now with both of them dead, Sniper's buyback finally comes off cooldown, but it's after the Bristleback died. Now if they had stayed back and just guarded their Ancient and let the barracks go, they probably could have had Bristleback, Tusk, Sniper, and everyone else alive at the same time. Instead, by trying to fight over a set of barracks, they ended up dying before the Sniper was able to respawn. That gives them just Sniper. Rubik steals Pit. Sniper is now spin attacking their base. I'm sorry, Juggernaut. That's another kill. And that's the end of the game. Hit the tower, hit the tower, hit the tower. As long as you hit the buildings, the game ends. So, as you can see from this game, we got absolutely wrecked. Totally wrecked in the laning phase of the game. It was horrifically bad. And the reason it was so bad is because they swapped and put their Bristleback safe lane, and we never adjusted until about 12 minutes into the game. But we stayed calm, we made good item decisions, we farmed better than they did. They came to attack our base when they didn't have buyback on their Sniper. They over-defended a set of racks and lost their heroes before Sniper could respawn, and we were able to just death push straight through to their tower. Thanks for watching.